Hey guys, welcome back to day 9 of our daily coding interview algorithm. So today we've got another algorithm that's featured on Codility. So this is the Dominator. Now a Dominator is basically an element that occurs more than half the length of an array that element is featured in. So here's an example. We've got an array here and the length of it is 8 elements long. So the final index is 7. And out of those 8 potential indexes, we can see that 3 occurs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So most of the elements in this array is 3. Therefore, we would consider 3 to be the dominator. So it's any element that occurs more than half the total length of that array or other data collection. So let's just give this a try. So as always, because we're going to be working with an array, in this case, we know that there's going to be some kind of grouping involved. So we're going to convert our array to a list first. So I'm going to call it sample a equals a dot to list. And we're going to be grouping. I think the best way to do this is to group all of these individual elements together so that you have a count of each one. So I'm going to do group by each element. So what we should have is we should have a list that contains each element grouped by the element type, and we can basically count how many of each element is in a group. So we can count the number of ones, the number of twos, the number of threes, and so on. So since we know that we can count, all we need to do is assert against whether that's greater than half the length of our data collection or array in this case. So what I would say is we can do this. We could just simply do a simple for each loop. So for each var group, or let's do var g in sample a, if, so for each group, if the count of it is greater than half the length of our data collection. So if g dot to list dot count, if it's greater than a dot to, or let's just do a dot length, I think it's length divided by 2. So if our count of that group is greater than half the length divided by 2, then what we want to do is return any index that element occurs at. So I think what we could do is just get the index of, and we want the index of this element. So we know that this element is represented in this grouping G by the key. So all I want to do is return the key of this group. So our group might have 5 elements in it, all of the same key, which in this case is the element itself. So this should return to us what we're looking for. So return the key of that group that occurs most frequently. And there is one last case here. It says the function should return -1 if array does not have a dominator. So if this for each loop doesn't return anything, then all we want to do is return -1. And we're going to give that a quick run. Okay, so we're missing some using statements up here as always. So system dot, so lists are in the collections dot generic namespace, and we're also using link syntax as well. So dot link. Now we're just going to run our tests. Okay, so you can see that we've passed all of our test cases here. So I think that's good. What we can do is we can submit this task. So like I said, the process is always, if you're working with an array, some languages do let you apply, generic class library methods on it directly, but in statically typed languages such as Java and C#, you probably do need to convert to something that's more easily workable, like a list. And here you can see we got 100%, so correctness was fine, performance, there was no issues there. So here we're probably doing it the way that we're supposed to do it. This is just the way that I would do it, is convert everything to a list so that you can then group the elements together. And then once you can group elements together, then all it is just, you know, applying a bit of logical conditional flow, just to see if, which condition returns true. So that was it, guys. That was day 9. Give this a try because this is also available in Codility. And next will be day 10, so we're gonna kick it up a notch as well, make it a little bit more difficult. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. See ya.